Most websites look nice, but only a few actually drive real business results. Some websites help businesses scale past $100 million, while others stall before even reaching their first major milestone. Right now, our team is in the middle of a full website redesign, and the deadline is February 2026. And while 10 years ago, I would have jumped straight into fonts, colors, and fancy transitions, this time, well, we haven't touched a single pixel yet. We've spent weeks just talking, thinking, and mapping, because we know the real key isn't what you see on the surface. Here's where our secret approach comes in, the step that decides whether a website actually works, but no one sees it at the first glance. And in this video, I'll take you through exactly how we tackle it. Let's dive in. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Morash and I'm the founder of the Flow Ninja Studio. We've built Flow Ninja into a multi-7-figure studio and built websites for $100 million companies using the same approach I'll share today. Big companies often pour millions into advertising and outbound sales, yet fail to invest into their website, the asset that can generate more revenue and ROI. When your website performs, it drives leads, it builds trust, and makes all other efforts a lot more efficient. Now, that same approach is what we apply at Flow Ninja, because most of our growth comes from it. However, it wasn't always like that. Back in the early days, I thought a good website meant good visuals, sleek animations, and just making it look beautiful, where it turns out I was just skipping the most important part, the thinking part. That's the real secret. Learning the right way to think. Because everyone's racing to launch something fast with AI, relying solely on AI to build your site quickly, often means skipping the strategy part that makes a website truly profitable. An AI-generated site might look polished, but it won't consider your ideal customer-specific pinpoints, messaging hierarchy, or how your pages guide visitors toward a conversion. What we've learned, that slowing down and asking the right questions first is what actually builds something profitable. And it all starts here with discovery and strategy. Let's start with asking, what even is discovery and strategy? Is it another fancy buzzword that consultants use to sound smarter or charge more? Well, not really. Think of building a website like building a house. Discovery is testing the ground, its soil and the foundations. And strategy is the blueprint, where the rooms go, which ones get sunlight, which will hold the heavy loads. If you skip either, the house still looks fine, until the first storm. This is the planning stage, the moment where you step back and make sure every decision will actually serve your audience. It's a moment where you pause and ask, who is our website really for? What problems are we solving for them? What makes us different in their eyes? And how can we say that clearly online? It's the first step before fonts, colors, layouts, and animations, and it's where you actually figure out how your digital storefront will communicate who you are and why should people trust you. Because your website is the only thing that you truly own online. It's your 24/7 salesperson, your credibility signal, and often the first impression anyone will have of your business. When done right, strategy and discovery can increase the number of visitors who book a demo or buy, decrease the bounce rates, speed up your website delivery, strengthen your brand trust, and even shorten your entire sales funnel. And yes, it can start generating leads for you while you sleep. The process has 6 main parts, and each part has its own specific role. The first part of discovery is understanding who's visiting your website. Who are they really? Are they technical people, developers, engineers? Are they Gen Z founders, corporate buyers, or maybe a niche fan base united by a shared passion? Because companies that deeply understand their audience win. The first example that comes to my mind is Gong.io. They know exactly who they're talking to. Sales leaders, RevOps, customer success, and enablement teams. And they go even deeper by industry. So they talk to tech, finance, and healthcare. That's why their marketing hits so well. They know who they're speaking to, what matters to them, and they speak their language. So how can you do this for your business? I like to start by identifying our past ideal customers. Look at the companies that spent the most with you. Let's say 100K plus deals. Who was involved in those decisions? Which roles pushed the project forward? Who were the champions, the blockers, and what were their pain points? And if possible, get on a call with them, so you can ask them what mattered the most during their buying process. This step alone will give you priceless clarity about who you should design your next website for. Once you know who you're talking to, it's time to define what makes you different. Think of your unique value propositions as the DNA of your brand, because people and even AI will crawl your website, scan your content, and make decisions in seconds. And if you're not clearly communicating what makes you stand out, you're basically invisible. A brand like Porsche instantly evokes speed, quality, and prestige. Volvo, safety, and family. And that's what brands communicate with us in different places. And your website is one of the core areas where you need to get your unique values straight. And if you look at Webflow, for example, you will see these unique value propositions. Now, before a single layout is designed, you need a goal. Without one, your project becomes a passion hobby. Timelines shift, budgets stretch, and ROI disappears. At Flow Ninja, as we're redesigning our own website right now, we have ultra-specific goals. We want to launch before February 2026 because that's when the enterprise budget resets and we see an influx of new leads every single year. We want to attract more mid-market and enterprise customers, and we want to showcase our process and how we differentiate from competitors. And finally, we want to simplify it. We want to make sure that even non-Webflow users understand exactly what we do. And that's clarity. That's how you make your website a business asset, not a design experiment. The basic approach of positioning is not to create something new and different, but to manipulate what's already in the prospect's mind, to retie the connections that already exist. I love this book, and if you're a creative or a marketer and have not read it, I highly recommend it as my core marketing philosophies. So in general, I never try to be the best in the market. I try to position us and our customers as something new and different from competition. When we think about positioning, we like to define an enemy, something our audience struggles with or dislikes. For us, it's WordPress and all the things that people dislike about it. By highlighting those things and showing how we solve them, we position ourselves as the solution for issues they didn't even know they had. So here's how you can implement that in your own process. First, list your top 5 competitors. Then you need to study them, their weaknesses, their strengths, and how they communicate. And then decide, what do we do that no one else can? What can we highlight that reframes the entire category? With these in mind, you'll have the foundation for your messaging, your sitemap, and ultimately your brand voice. Now, even the best website is useless without traffic. And here's the final piece of the puzzle: organic growth. At Flow Ninja, we get around 40 to 50 inbound deal inquiries every month, all on autopilot. No paid ads, just strong SEO and long-term consistency. This didn't happen overnight. It took us more than 5 years to come to this place. But because we started in 2019, by 2024, our brand was everywhere in search results. And that's the compound effect of patience. So what can you do? Start with one type of a landing page. It can be location specific or industry specific, and answer all of the questions your audience might have, including the FAQs. Then you can plan 12 months of content in advance with at least 4 quality blog posts per month, creating unique content that brings new insights to your market and not generic AI content. Then you can include at least 1 guest blog post per month on relevant industry blogs. You can test posts with strong statistics for backlinking opportunities and optimize your content for both Google and AI-driven engines like AEO. And if you want to go deeper, check out our full video on AEO and see how's AI-driven search changing the SEO forever. Okay, with all of that stuff out of the way, now comes the fun part. It's time for your sitemap. After setting up all of the above, you'll probably end up with 1,000 ideas. Map out the essential pages you're gonna launch with and park all of the future ideas for later. You can use tools like Reloom, Figma, or FigJam to visualize the entire structure, from key pages to section layouts. Or you can go with whiteboards, sticky notes, and paper to map out your core structure. Every page should answer key problems and guide your audience logically. And the sections we like to have on every single landing page are hero section, problem industry, how it works, solution offer, testimonials credibility, free resource, and then finally the call to action section. And then on the other side, the key pages your website should have are the homepage, book a demo, pricing, testimonials, and finally, a case studies page. We like to link the few first sections intentionally to show value, credibility, and then reinforce security at the end. Because people like to buy confidence last. And the more your website feels like it was made specifically for your ICP, the stronger the trust and the conversion potential. This helps keep the project grounded in reality, matching your budget, timeline, and goals. And we personally believe that your website is another marketing channel. So we always encourage our customers to list ideas for the future and to never put their website on idle mode. And once that's in place, it's time to move to some creative work. You can visit Pinterest, awards, and other inspiration hubs, collect references, find the direction, and start imagining how your website will actually look and feel. At this point, everything just starts to click. You've built the foundation, defined your goals, and finally, the strategy starts turning into something tangible. And that's where the real momentum begins. Building $100 million websites is a much harder task than just creating something quickly with AI. Hopefully, this process helps you understand how we do it at Flow Ninja so that you can approach your next website more strategically. If you'd like us to help you build a new website for your company, feel free to book a free demo call below or to do a free website audit directly on our website.